is indeed a fruitful area for those who seek traces of ancient times. But even in this small, dense area, we can still find hidden treasures in surprising places. For example, this site called Khilbe Tsunam, which looks like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, a deserted, ruined village inside a thick forest in the Upper Galilee district. Our tour guide Tomer Yeshuah from the Travel Hotels Network explains how this exquisite site was discovered almost by accident a few years ago.
Basically, this entire area is a grazing plain of the local shepherds, and their cattle wandered around, started to go inside the bush, and shepherds went after the cows, and then they discovered it was this open as we see it right now. There's one shepherd who fell into an open water pit, and this is basically the place, the story of how the city was found.
The so-called lost city of the Galilee is still a mystery to many, since it has not yet been excavated and is not mentioned in any ancient texts. But experts associate it with the Byzantine era.
We can see the same stones in Montfort Castle, in the Danilo ruins, and in plenty of Byzantine buildings across the Galilee. We do know that there is no evidence of some kind of earthquake, bushfire, or any other reason that can explain why the residents of this place abandoned it.
Khilbe Tsunam seems to have been a big town, perhaps even a megacity of its time, and there are several theories regarding the center of this site, which is surrounded by beautiful arches.
This area has two major assumptions for its purpose. The first one is that this was the city center of this place. The other assumption is that the arcs was the foundation of an ancient church, and underneath it was the water tank of the city.
On the other side of this compound, we can see evidence of what may be the main industry of the lost city: olive oil.
The olive oil industry goes back to biblical times. What we can see here is what seems to be a Byzantine oil press. We can see the hatch where the lever is usually connected to press the crush stone.
Another example of the developed olive oil industry can be found not too far from Khilbe Tsunam in a small but well-researched site named Khilbe Danila.
The people were going through this entrance with baskets full of olives, and they threw the baskets and the olives. Right here we can see the remaining of a circle here. There is a circle where they put the olives, and there was a huge lever starting from this hatch and connecting to this weight originally placed over there with a giant screw, and people were turning it around to get down the crusher stone, which crushed the olives over here.
Khilbe Danila is a small village from the Roman period and flourished during the Byzantine era. The story of Khilbe Danila is quite similar to that of Khilbe Tsunam.
We don't see much influences later on, which tell us that this place was abandoned, but we also see remain of plaster, which we can see at the Mamluk period. It's very similar to the lost city. We see a Byzantine era settlement that was abandoned with no record of change of ruler or earthquake or any disaster, big disaster that could explain. And then we see like 1,000 years later, we see plasters of Mamluk residents.
Who lived in Khilbe Tsunam and Khilbe Danila? Why were these two settlements abandoned during the Byzantine era and repopulated hundreds of years later? And how were they not discovered and excavated until recently? Many questions are still buried in the ground in this mysterious and magical area near the Lebanese border and the Mediterranean Sea.